Hello everyone, welcome in BBA Excel programming course which has been conducted under bi-analytics.org and smart hello from Saurabh. Yes, I am Saurabh, and from now today onwards we are taking a new step towards our BBA programming. We'll be talking about Excel programming fundamentals. Till now we had done how to do recording, we have understand what is properties, methods, objects. Now the main programming logics, concepts, how to use variables, how to use loops, how to use conditional logics, the things which we cannot do with recording macros will start in this course. So this is the first lecture at this new series. And I request you all, if you have not visited the previous lectures, please walk through them. You can complete them in say 2 hours, 1.5 hours. So just complete the 8 tutorials and then start this tutorial. Let's start. So today's topic is data types and variables. Imagine this is a juicer. So what does it take as an input? It will take oranges, sweet lime as an input. And what it gives you as an output? It gives you a juice as an output. Fine. Now imagine when I told you in the first lecture, computer is a brainless machine. So if I ask a kid, go and take the juice from the juicer, which container it should take? Should it take a box or what it should take? So now answer will come from the gesture. What is the output of this juicer? Output of juicer is liquid. So we need to have a container which is like liquid. Fine. Okay. Spoon. Spoon can also hold liquid. Can we take it in spoon? No. If we'll take the output in spoon, the juice will overflow. So we need to understand that first of all, what type of data, what type of output it is giving? It is liquid. And secondly, what is the size of that output? So size will tell you whether should I take a utensil or glass will work for me. What will work? Can a spoon work for me or a glass will work for me? So it depends on the type of amount it will give to you. Fine. So when we talk about any process in computers and we talk about data, computer need to know what type of data it is, whether it is liquid, solid, gas. So it can create a space like that. Secondly, how much data will be stored in it. That is called amount or capacity of the system. Fine. For optimizing the programs, it is important to have a capacity optimum. Else we can take a big capacity uh, drives and it may not be of use. Say if my data is just 5 KB, why should I spend 5 terabyte data hard disk? So this is like this. Fine. So this was just the idea. Let's now move into our VBA programming. So these are the data types we can have. Let's walk through one by one. We'll do separate programs for each data type. So don't worry, this is just an overview to understand. Then when we use the practical application, you will be able to understand. So when you talk about data type, this is first is Boolean. What does Boolean means? It is true or false. So it is like yes or no to us. And generally bytes use are 2. Fine. Second data type is integer. Say roll number of a class. Roll number of class is integer 33, 34, 35, 36. It cannot be 36.25. Fine. So integer is a unique number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -5, -6. So data type of integer can again use 2 bytes and it can store value from -326768 to +32767. Fine. If you have to store say 40,000 number into the integer, it will not, it will overflow. So we have to use another one which is called long data type. So long data type is also like an integer. Single and double are data types which are used to store decimal points also. Fine. And they have capacity like -3.4 to exponential power 38, 10 to power 38. So much number of numbers. Single and double is a big one like exponential 308. Don't worry, we don't have to remember these numbers. Don't worry. When we use double, I will tell you. When you use single, when you use this thing, fine. Second is currency. So now currency has its own importance. So there's a data type called currency. You have date as a data type. So you can have a date which will hold date, month, year. You have text will stored in string. You have object data type. What is that? Any defined object. We talked about object. Excel is an object. workbook is an object. So actually it does not store Excel, but data type is like object. Fine. How it refers to object, we'll talk about later. Then, if you don't know what type of data type it is, computer uses a variant. So if it doesn't know what type of data type will be stored, by default it is called variant data type. Variant means it varies based on situations. Fine. And then a user defined data type, that I can also define my type of data. So we will learn all these things. Most important thing is generally data types are like boolean, integer, long, single, double, currency, date, string, object, variant, and user defined data types. Don't worry, we'll teach, learn each and everything in next tutorials. So let's start. Now, when we know about data type, what is variables? Variables is like a named storage location in your computer memory. Say you have your own house and there is a house number. So we allocate special memory in computer with a name which can be referred with name. Say my house number is 14/55. So it is a 14/55. The same way a named storage location in your memory is called a variable. Let's try to understand now. Variables. Unit cost is equals to 1.20. It means we are storing 1.20 value in the unit cost. Now 1.20 is an integer data type? No, it is double data type or single data type. Fine. Unit sold is equals to 20. Now you cannot sold half point. So it is like integer data type. Fine. Now it's a total cost is equals to unit cost into unit sold. It means it is multiplying unit cost into unit sold and then saving into total cost. So these are like variables. We are doing calculations in variables. Don't worry, we will do it. Now see the another example. X is equals to 1.20, y is equals to 20, z is equals to x into y. So these are both are same, nothing changed. But look, when you talk about unit cost as a variable name, it looks good. You are able to understand. So I want to tell you, both are correct according to computer. But when you use as a programmer or a person who reads program, it is easy to understand if variable name has been defined which looks like why it is used. If I tell you unit cost, you understand that it is about cost per unit. Fine. So my objective to tell you is whenever we use a name of a variable, we should try to take a name in such a way that it matches to our requirement and we are able to understand. Fine. Now we talk about naming conventions. Look, I have done this is there are three type of conventions. Say imagine tax rate. So T is capital, R is capital. This is called Pascal convention. So you are able to read it properly, right? TAX tax rate. If all were in small letters, it was not may not be able to read easily. So in an organization, you can have a convention like Pascal convention. So this is Camel convention, which says TAXRAT, R is capital. So both are same. There's no issues. It is about the way we present ourselves. So these are called naming conventions. It is quite easy to read tax rate. If all were small, it may not be able to read it out. Fine. In these two, you have to use two time capital letter. In this, I have to use one time capital letter. So we have to press shift key once. So it is quite easy to write tax rate. It saves efficiency. It's like more efficient to write. So general organization use camel convention. Camel is like it is capital, it is higher at the bottom or middle point. So it is like camel convention. Fine. There is a Hungarian convention which use data type also. SNG tax rate, INT tax rate. So you can take name any type of variable names. No issues. Don't worry. Only I want to tell you that naming conventions are like Pascal convention, Camel convention, and Hungarian convention. This is just for your industry, your company, which type of convention they use. You use any three, program will work. No issues. Okay. Now let's talk about something. If you have to define a variable, the storage location. First of all, one more important thing. In Excel, where we store the data, in Excel, we were storing the data in the cell, right? A1, B1, C1. Now we will use computer memory to store the data. And that is the miracle of VBA programming. which gives more extensive power than normal Excel. So we will do calculation in computer memory, and that's why we will use variables. We will create some variables in computer memory. Our program will use it out, and then it will solve the answer and will again put into Excel. So this is the importance of variable. Now there are some basic rules in variables. Let's think of it. Must start with letter. Like variable can be A1, A2, A3, but it cannot be 3A. It should always start with letter. Fine. It should always start with a letter. Can contain underscore, text underscore rate. It can have text underscore rate. Cannot exceed 255 characters in length. It means the length of the variable, like say I said total, length is 5, total. So you cannot have more than 255 characters in a name. Generally we don't need it, but still there is a convention. Fine. Now, it is not mandatory to define a variable, but it is a good practice, and we'll talk about later on. But first of all is how to declare a variable. So we use dim, D-I-M. Dim means dimension. Dim variable S type. There are two ways. If we write dim tax rate, so like we are telling computer that tax rate is a variable, but what type we don't know. But if we write dim tax rate as single, so we'll come to know that computer will come to know that tax rate is a variable and we have to store single data type. Fine. Don't worry, I'll now start writing a program and we'll teach you everything in next 10 minutes. Don't worry. Fine. So dim variable as type. There are two ways of declaring out. Declaration is not mandatory, but we'll always declare as a best practice, and we'll talk more about declaration option explicit in next tutorial. If a variable is not declared, this type is called variant. We just talked about you that there is a variant data type which varies. So if you have not declared a variable, it will call the variant. Fine. Now, VBA variables have scope restrictions. Look, when we create a special memory, it may be that until your program or macro runs, it may store a value and after that it may not store. So this is called local to that procedure. We'll talk about scope in later tutorials, but yes, variable have a scope whether it is acceptable only in that macro or other macros also. So not going into that, let's move ahead. So let's talk about something. There are how many rows in Excel? Say if you talk about first numbers, you don't know whether it is integer or whether it is a decimal point also. Use double, it's quite easy. Use double, you can store any number into it. No problems. If you want to use specific integers and which are like say less than 32,000, say registration of students in my institute, I will never get 32,000 students. I'll get 10 students, 15 students. So I can say integer is fine. But if I talk about conducting an exam at international level, I may have 5 lakh numbers, 15 lakh numbers. So it's better to use long as integer type data. Fine. So if you talk about Excel rows are more than 32,000. So if you want to store the row number of Excel, it's better to use as a long. Fine. So this you will come to know with better practices. Don't worry. So just there are some recommendations that if you don't know, use number as a double. Fine. Now we'll talk about how we can store a value in a variable. You know that if there is a cell with 20 in A1, it is stored in A1 cell. But how to store that value into variable? We'll talk now. And then if the value is stored in variable, how to read that value? What is stored in that value? So this all is done with the help of is equal to operator, which is called assignment operator. Let's see how we will do it. Assignment operator calculates right side and store in the left side. This is most important thing. It calculates right side and then stores in the left side. What means? See, A is equals to range A1 dot value. It means it will pick the value of A1 cell and store in A side. So from right side, it has gone to left side. Fine. Now, B is equals to A plus 5. So if A is 20, 20 plus 5 is equals to 25, it will solve it out and store in B. So this is called storing in variable. Now we want to read the value of b. I write read b1 dot value is equals to b. So whatever the value is in b, it will go into b1's value, which is in Excel cell. So we have written the value of variable into this. Fine. So this is the way to do the things. So now let's do it in Excel and try to understand what we learned till now. Let me open Excel. You can download this Excel file from bi-analytics.org. So I have this Excel open. Now you remember how to open VBA code? Developers Visual Basic. And we'll write our code in insert module. Always remember this thing. Okay. So first of all, let's do something. Okay. What I'll do is, let me open my Excel first and do something. Say, I have marks, ENGLISH, English. Say marks are 45. Enter. Say in maths, I have 55. And in science, I have marks 65. Fine. And this is total. Now I want to calculate total. First of all, what I want to do is, I want to read all these values in a variable and then to add all these in the computer memory and put the value over here. This is, we need to do this in our program. Fine. So let's make a program. Let's make a VBA macro to solve this problem. Fine. This is B1 dot value. This is B2 dot value. And this is B3 dot value. Fine. You all can see. B1 dot value, B2 dot value, B3 dot value. Okay. Now let's move into our Excel VBA code. So our objective is to total marks, calculate total marks. So let's name the program sub sub, fine, cal underscore total. It looks good name, calculation underscore total. You come to know that what the objective of this program is. You can also say hello madam. This can also be the name of the program. No problems for computers, but it's good for all of us to understand. Fine. Now look, I have to use, first of all, I have to read marks in a variable. So we need 3 variables for 3 marks. Fine. What are the subjects we have? We have English, maths and science. So I can say dim. Dim is defining. E as my marks will be data type of integer. IN integer. So I have defined a E variable which will store English marks. Fine. Same day I can say dim M as integer. Fine. I have defined M will be my another variable which will store marks. I have how many marks? English, maths and science. Dim S. Oh, I wrote sim. Dim S. Sorry. Dim S as integer. Fine. So what I have done is I have defined 3 variables and told computer that these are the 3 variables I will use to store. Okay. And I need to total them also. So I can have another variable total. Dim T as integer. Fine. This has been done. Now what I want is, I want to store these values. How I will store? I say E is equals to range. Hope you all know how to write. B1 dot value. So we have stored the data in E. Now when I run this program, the value of B1 will be stored in E. Same way I use M is equals to range, bracket open. Let me do one thing for you. now better visible, right? So I write v2 dot value. Now there's another variable which will say s is equals to range bracket open v3 dot value. So now my 3 marks are available in these 3 variables. Fine. Now what I want to do is I have another variable called t. I say t. Now always remember right side go into left side. Fine. So we need to write the expression for right side, which is e plus m plus s. So what I have done is I have told computer e plus m plus s. Some of these three should be stored in t. Fine. Now I want to put the value of t into our Excel once again. So let's do it. This time range b4, right? b4 dot value is equals to t. I forget to write bracket. I already had end some program, no issues. So my program is ready. So when I will run this program, it should give me the output, what I wanted. So let's go. There is a way to write it. I can run this program for run like this also, and I can also run this from outside. Let's go. Now let's run this program. I go into macros and I say run. Fine. Should I do it? Run. Or here comes my output. Hope it was easy. So what we had done, we had written first program. What we learned with this program is that we had first read the value from Excel into variable. We did some calculation in variable and we stored it again into our Excel sheet. So this was a very easy program of doing sum in 3 numbers. Data type all were integer. Now let's do something. What I'll do is, let's, instead of 45, I write 700. Fine. And now let's do again this macro and I say run. So my answer changed. It will not change automatically until you run this program. Fine. Now it will give error. We have stored data type as an integer and say if I say 50,000. Okay. So I have taken a data which is more than 32,000 which can be stored in integer. Let's run this program and see that it will give an error. Overflow. What it's saying? There is a huge number of data. I'm not. It's like spoon. When there was a lots of juice and we were not overflow from spoon. Same way, data has overflown. Okay. So I can say debug. So it's telling me that in this there is a problem. So either I can change this to long or I can put the actual value. So that depends on our case. But I want to tell you what type of data type we have told. Computer will store that type of data into the system. So this is all about our program number 1. We can reset this. Reset. Fine. Let's go. So now I can do it again. 56. Now this smart thing. You don't have to do macros again. You can do one thing. Let's go into developer. You can say insert button. Say I do this button and it says assign this macro. I say okay. Now I can write this button name also. Calculate. Now every time I put calculate, our program will run and see the magic now. Say 56. Fine. Now if click this button calculate and it has done the calculation for us. Fine. You are able to understand. Now you have to do same thing with your hand. This is first thing. Now second point. Look, right now this was an active sheet, so it was taking range A1 from here. Now if I do this sheet 2 is active, it may give error because now it will take range A1 B1 this value. So you have to either keep it active or you have to write complete worksheets sheet 1 dot range like this. So my first objective is, better suggestion is that you always do one program in one workbook and then close it out. So there will be no issues for you. Such type of errors will not come. Fine. Okay. So this is we have done. Now let's do another program. We had made one program. Now let's do another program. Now what I want to do is say hmm, I have a mark price say 1000, and I have hmm, discount percent 20%. Look, I'm writing 20. I'm not writing 20. I'm writing 20%, which is equals to 0.2. Already I have written 0.2 over here. Fine. Now third one is discount, and fourth is selling price. So now I need to write a program which calculate discount and which do selling price calculation for us. So we have to write this program. I will do it again for you. Let's do it. Now we'll write another program. I will suggest you open new workbook and do it. Fine. I'm doing it in same. Let's see now. I will do fast. S2B sub. What is my calculate underscore selling price underscore discount. We cannot use space in macro name. We cannot use space in macro names. Fine. Sub has come and sub has come. Now I need to calculate dim mark price MP as integer. Remember, it can give you error if you use interior as a data type. Fine. Dim MP as integer. Now next, dim discount percent. DP as what? I can say DP percent as integer. No, if I take integer, 0.2 will become 0. So I have to take it as double or single. Let's take double. Fine. Dim DP as double. Now I say dim SP, which is, or say dim D as, I don't know, that discount can come in values also, percentage also. So I said it is double. And I say dim SP as double. Fine. This I have done. Now I need to read the values once again. So let's read the values. I know that this is B1 and this is B2. Fine. So I say MP is equals to range B1 dot value. Fine. Same, second what we need to do is DP is equals to range bracket open B2 dot value. Fine. MPDP we have read. Now we have to calculate discount. So now D is equals to what? MP multiply by, we do start asterisk for multiplication. MP asterisk DP. Fine. Look, if there had been 20 instead of 20%, then you have to use MP into DP upon 100. Right now I'm not using this because that's at 0.2. Fine. Now you have to calculate selling price. SP is equals to, you can do MP minus D. Fine. Or you can use another formula like MP1 minus D into, like, there can be two different formulas. I have calculated D. If I have not calculated D, I have done MP minus MP into DP. There are different ways of calculating. No issues. We are doing a simple method. First I calculated discount and then I calculate selling price. Now I have to write this value where I'll write in B3 and B4. range B3 dot value is equals to D range B4 dot value is equals to SP. Now if you do mistake, instead of SP you write D and D interchange, it will do the same mistake. Computer doesn't know what is this. It is we have to put in right cells. This is more important. Fine. So our program is ready. Let me take it. So this is a program for calculation and for SP. Let's now try to run this program. Run, run. So we have run. Let's see what the answer is. Answer does not came for selling price. Why? Let's see. Look, now I did the mistake. I said value is equals to S, but actually the variable was SP. So it did not solve our value. Let's do it again now. Run. Now see, here comes the answer. So now for computer, S was a different variable and SP was a different variable. So this may create a problem for us. So I'll tell you that in next program, next tutorial, I'll talk about option explicit, which will solve and help us in eliminating these type of problems later on. But right now we have done those two things. Fine. So this has been done. Hope you are able to understand. You can add button to this also and calculate. Fine. So these are the two programs we have done. Now there is an assignment for you all. Let's see you all can do it or not. When you have done, you'll write in the comment in the video tutorial, yes, we had done this tutorial. Okay. I am from this location and I have done this video tutorial. So let's start. Let me get another sheet. Fine. Remember, which macro you are running, you should keep that cell as an active cell. This is most important thing. Okay. So now let's do it. Now I want you all to calculate the area. Say first of all there is a length L is equals to 50, breadth is equals to 67. Now I want perimeter. You should calculate the perimeter for me and you should calculate the area for me of rectangle. This is the function you have to use. You have to click a macro button and you have to do this thing. Fine, it is easy. You know what is perimeter? If you don't know, you can Google it out. What is perimeter? It is the measurement of length of the sides. Fine, which is 2 into L plus B. The formula is. And L into B is area. Fine. Same thing you have to do for circle. I have a radius is equals to 50. Take any units, no issues. 50 meter, 50 centimeter, you can consider it. Now, you have to calculate perimeter, which is the circumference, and you have to calculate area. So this is the assignment you have to do. When you run, you should have a button, calculate area of a rectangle, calculate area of this. Just press that button and it should work for you. So this is the assignment. Make sure to first do the two programs that we had done and then do this program. So you will be able to understand how to do it. Fine. Hope you are able to understand this. This is very simple. Don't worry, this is a starting. We all be doing this exercise again and again. So you'll understand what is reading and what is writing. We need to understand that we always have is equal to operator, which is called assignment operator, and we take right side to left side. Right side to left side. This is most important thing. If you are able to understand that all right things are stored in left side, you will never have a problem. Fine. So we have done this thing. Now I have a request. If you want to learn VBA programming, do not miss any tutorial. Join us on bi-analytics.org. There is a specific club made for Excel VBA programming. Join that club. I will be uploading this presentation over here. This download this template files so you can see the program. If you find any errors, you can check it out. Errors can be like instead of integer you can write interior. Dim I is interior, but don't write. Always write integer. You will come to know with color of blue color that this is right. I will talk about more color combination schemes later on. But yes, so this was the tutorial number started. Now we'll go into if logics and then loop programming. Then we'll make some very smart programs of converting data from one format to another format. So be with me, touch me. I'm sure you will learn programming. Remember, computer is a brainless machine and we have brains. Fine. So meet you in next tutorial. Thank you very much.